we can't have him.
About that one.
We can't have him this morning. I mean, Gerry Anderson's a man of the world. And Gerry, have you ever been asked to interpret or translate what a dream would mean?
You're talking to a man who has just recently seen Inception and has no idea what it was about.
That's the new movie where they meant to steal things from dreams.
I sat through that movie. I have no idea what it was about.
Well,
For the first time in my life, I had no idea what was going on. And I know that everyone in the cinema, none of them knew either. Listen, that clergyman was ready for you, wasn't he?
Yes, he was ready
He
for
was
everybody.
able for you.
What about that troubled man though, who woke up this morning in a cold sweat?
Time to stop drinking.
And thought that Stephen Nolan was the mayor of Larne.
I know, but you get people like that listening to this programme. Listen, do you see that lady you were on? What do you call that lady on about the interpretation of words?
Yes, Loretta, yes.
She's great. I did a wee programme with her one time, and I read a book that she wrote called Green English. Have you ever come across that?
No, I haven't.
It's really good. I recommend it highly. She's too nice a person to do that. But would you ask her a couple of things for me? What does this mean? Ask him, how's your father? Is your mother still working?
Yes.
And another one, how would you like a good boot up? Will you ask her that? What the origin of those are?
The other one was that Vinny said that he heard a nice one and he wanted to pay me a compliment this morning, and he said, you've a face on you like a bag of spanners. Wasn't that nice?
Yes, and indeed the one that I asked him, what's the origin of this? Your sister didn't say that last night.
Thanks, Gerry.
Thank you. I won't see you now for a long time. I won't be back for a month.
I'm saddened by the news.
I can tell the hurt in your voice. Bye-bye.
Welcome into my world.
Regular listeners to this programme will realise that there are signs there of self-indulgence. It's one of my favourite songs, Welcome to Tomorrow, by a band called Suddenly... No, it's called Snap. It's on an album called Welcome to Tomorrow. This is my last day for a month or so I think I might play things that I like. I know it's selfish, but I can't help it. That's the way I am. I'm selfish. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme. We've got a busy show today. All kinds of people going to pop in, sing songs, do all kinds of stuff. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. Email address is jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk, and as I say, as always, the text messaging service is 81771. Now, it was a good day down at the John Hewitt yesterday, a bit of an outside broadcast, and Nigel Porter was unable to make it. He said, "Hope you're keeping well." Just a wee note to say I enjoyed listening to the outside broadcast yesterday. I wish I had have went. It sounded like good crack. I must say you're getting better. You're nearly as good as Hugo. Please. At these OB things, really in touch with the people. Anyway, have a good time while you're away. You'll be missed. Even though I hate Sean, I will still be tuned in. I hate it when people say what they think. I'm only joking. I don't hate Sean. I like all those words people are using these days. Words like ethos and synergy, or is it synergy? What about foundation instead of ethos? Not sure if ethos means the same thing as foundation. Anyway, you know yourself. Thanks, Gerry. That's a man who's confused someone. Another gentleman called Adam, he's slightly perplexed at the change of routine in this programme. "I've just returned from carrying out a Requiem Mass," he says, which for a Protestant is quite a feat. "As I swung the rosemary beads and lit the fuse on that funny-looking incendiary device that resembles a medieval mace." That's the thing that the people swing. The stuff comes out of it that makes you smell. "Some papist naturally inquired, 'Why are you doing this?' I said, 'It is to mourn the death of the Gerry Anderson Show,' I said, in Latin. 'Oh, misti plubum Gerry Anderson a summone plipa di parto.' Sorry, that's Italian. But then again, Latin's only Italian, spoke funny. But rest assured, the show will rise like the phoenix in 4 weeks' time." This pacified the Cardinal, and he stuck another hairpin in his homemade voodoo doll of Sean Coyle. He started to warm to me. "How will we cope without Gerry?" But I said there'd be another Gerry there for 2 weeks, Gerry Kelly, who'll be talking to me today. "Who'll stand up to the fat boy when he overruns at 10:30? We had nothing to fear, Father, except fear itself. I've lent Sean my Machiavelli book, called whatever it's called, 2 pounds of Jimson weed, and 4 gallons of poaching, or the crater, and expect him to thwart Nolan." The Cardinal was worried that Sean would morph like a bullock on angel dust, and on Gerry's return goldered, "Non serviam," and oust him in a coup d'etat. "No, Father. Coyle will keep a steady hand on the tiller whilst Anderson is away. Such is the way of the servile, and the hand, the reins back. 28 days later, for good luck, I rammed a knitting needle into the voodoo doll. It squirmed, it twitched. "Wonderful," exclaimed the priest, or the skyrocket as he is known, removing his dog collar. "Let's go in the town and get outrageous," which is why they take the dog collar off. "Outstanding," I replied. "We put on our costumes and throw eggs at souped-up cars." "What are you going to wear?" "Only this turban and my Linfield shorts," I replied. "Bravo," I guldered. And we dedicated the first barrage of yoke and album up the side of a lowered Toyota twin cam to the safe return of our figurehead, Gerald Michael Anderson. Thank you for your support. I'll wear it always. Another one of my favourite songs. I'm so horrible, aren't I? Self-indulgent and selfish.
Two tight-eyed, brain-fried misfits who lived in a shack in the back of the Bodark Wood. A Caddo guy and a Crockett girl worked hard at staying stoned as best they could. Coming up at night, they were high as a Christmas moon. Coming down was the fear in the 4 walls of their room. They were 2 hardcore junkies, and they stayed drunker than a bunch of monkeys. And there were barrels of laughter with no time left to lose. They had nightmares and needles with the Stones and the Beatles, and they kept all the straight-laced businessmen confused. And the days went by with a red bandana blues. Well, Ivy was grown o'er their heavenly home, and their only companions were the chickens and the dove. When the law had 'em made, they got laid in the shade. On their face was the grace from the good Lord up above. And making love in the woods was peaceful most of the time, but revolution was the last thing on their mind. They were tough, foul-mouthed, and lazy, and they ate biscuits and gravy, and they wore blue bell-bottom jeans and platform shoes. They slapped at the insects while they laughed at the rednecks. They kept all the straight-laced businessmen confused. days went by with a red bandana blues, alright.
For some strange reason, I decided to stop. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how that happened. That just stopped. Sorry about that. That was, or should I say, it would have been if it had finished, Red Bandana Blues. Anyway, there's a gentleman on the line, a gentleman whom you know well, a man called Henry McCullough. Henry McCullough, as you know, played with everybody in the whole world, from Joe Cocker, Paul McCartney's Wings, Marianne Faithfull, Sweeney's Men, everybody. But it's not particularly well known that he spent some time in Poland, and Henry is on the line. Good morning, Henry.
Hello, Gerry. How you doing?
All right, Henry. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you. You haven't parleyed for a long time.
That's right. I haven't spoken to you for ages. Since we did our wee programme, Failed
That's
Christian,
right, yeah,
which
great, yeah.
I have to say, so many people wanted to hear that. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, a huge response to it from
Absolutely.
the locals down my way. Anyway,
Well, that's the only thing that matters. The boys that live beside you.
Aye, that's right. That's keep them happy, and they'll dig it more.
That's right.
Deeper. Aye.
Tell me about the Polish connection, Henry. How did you write? And you made an album in Poland, in Poland, and I'm going to depend on you to tell me the names of these people.
Well, the drummer, the drummer and the bass player are from Poland's top jazz group called Walkaway.
Yeah.
And about, sorry, Gerry, I'm just out of the old scratcher there.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. I don't expect you to pronounce the names.
Oh, I know them by heart now.
Can you pronounce those names?
Yeah, there's Tomasz Grobowy,
Right.
Krzysztof Zawodzki,
Wow.
and Zbyszek Szurlas.
Wow.
That's guitar, bass, and drums.
Yeah.
But the drummer and bass player are from the top jazz group and have been for the last 25 years in Poland. But on one of my trips over to Poland, now I haven't been in 2 or 3 years now, but in one of my trips over, I came across Krzysztof, and he organised the setting up of the studio and stuff just for a Sunday afternoon, and we came out with a wee CD called Blue Sunset, which sort of started the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And then they got, I kept going out year after year, and on a couple of occasions, I think 3 occasions, I brought them over here just for the crack, a pint of Guinness and a bit of, bit of fun. And they're over here at the minute, and we're doing a gig on Monday night at the Empire.
Which is part of the Fabrica Festival of Eastern Europe.
That's the one.
Empire Music Hall on Monday the 2nd of August at 8 p.m. Is this the first time you've all played together here at a regular gig? I know you said you were over before, but did you do gigs here before?
Oh, yeah, like we did a couple of wee tours, not too
excellent.
many, 7 days or something spread over a 10-day or 2-week period.
But what a great band. These are fantastic musicians, these guys.
Oh, they're incredible, but they like to play rock and roll as well, but you wouldn't need to put country in front of them, let me tell you.
Well, keep Hugo away then.
Well, it's not in their repertoire,
Well, that's always encouraging to hear.
Yeah, great.
So that's part of the Fabrica Festival. Maybe that's a festival now. I've got some information about that, but I'll tell people about that later.
Yeah.
And but the gig that you're concerned with is the 2nd of August in it's next Monday night, for God's sake.
Empire Music Hall.
Empire Music Hall. That's 8 o'clock, and tickets are £10, which is cheap in any man's language.
Aye.
You can get them at Belfast Welcome Centre, Donegal Place, and there's an email address for the festival, www.fabrica, Fabraka, www.fabricafestival.com. And I'll be talking a wee bit more about the festival later on before the end of the programme, tell the people more about it. You're also doing some gigs. You're doing a gig down the Black Box on the 1st of October. That's a way long time ago. That's a series of gigs called Old Flat Top at the Black Box, which sounds good.
Yeah, it should be great. That young jazz guitar player, that I think he may have played the Derry Jazz Festival. He's like 14 or something, and his father plays rhythm guitar.
Yeah, I came across him before. I hate him. I hate people who can play like that when they're 14.
How do you think I feel?
What's wrong with these people? What are they eating? What are they drinking?
It's fantastic, because I don't know where a kid like that gets the experience, but he's coming along to be on the bill as well.
Do you know something, Henry? And that's a terrible thing to say. When you see kind of young lads of 16 or 17 and you hear how they can play, and I kind of think what I was like when I was 16 or 17, and I'm sure you were the same when you know.
Absolutely.
And these guys
we are of a different generation, Gerry.
Yeah, but they hear more stuff, you see, and they have more stuff available to them and more educational.
That's right. They can learn instead of getting Burt Whedon's play in the day, like.
And not being able to understand it.
That's right. And breaking a third finger every 2 weeks, trying to get a shape.
That's
now
right.
you can it's incredible as you know what you can do. So have no fear, like it's not our fault.
But this album is really good, and it's called Belfast to Boston, and the title track, I've played that often, and I love that track.
Belfast to Boston, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to play this one today. I might play it later on in the programme, but I want to try and fit in some other stuff today, but I'm going to play a track from it called You Can't Do That. It was the first song I ever sang.
Is that a fact?
When I joined a band one time, and I wasn't a singer and I wasn't a bass player, and they wanted a singer who was a bass player. And so I decided to become a bass player, and they said, "Do you sing?" And I said, "Yes." And I already learned you can't do that.
Yeah.
And they said, "Will you sing it?" So that's why I particularly like that. And this is a good version. Is this still available, Henry? On your website, perhaps?
No, Gerry, that was one that I put together, and recorded it over there. And would you believe I don't have a CD to my name of Belfast to Boston, and I'll tell you even better, I don't have a CD of Poor Man's Moon.
Oh, my God.
And neither does the guy who organised it, and I can find nobody. So, unfortunately, Poor Man's Moon has drowned in the shock.
Well,
I
have both of them.
I know, but
will I send them to you?
Because you could get Belfast to Boston, but you'll not be able to get Poor Man's Moon. I wanted to take it on and pay the distributors whatever it takes to sort of have copies done and everything else. But anybody connected with it outside of me have flown the coop.
My God, that's the music business for you, isn't it?
Tell me about it.
You make a record and you can't get it.
I know it's when it happens, it's a bit of a shock, really. And when you deal with it, then you get on and you leave it behind and you go on to other things, which I am doing. I'm about to go in to do. I think I might do a solo album. I have stuff that would be very interesting.
Good.
And would be slightly different. It would be in the sort of Belfast to Boston vein, Gerry. There's
that's
the
good.
title track.
Look forward to that.
And I have some material like that, but you have to have very, very good songs or music all the way through because of no bass and drums and all the rest of it. So you have to be on the mark. You have
to be on your toes.
Yeah,
so that's
a little bit of preparation there.
Okay, so let's just remind the people that's that Polish band. They're called the Blue Sunset Band from Warsaw. That's yourself featuring the Blue Sunset Band from Warsaw on the Empire Music Hall this Monday night, 8 p.m. Don't miss it. All right, Henry.
Good man, Gerry.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Henry McCullough. This is a track from that album. That's that old Beatles track, You Can't Do That. Well, there's very little wrong with that, I have to say. That's an album called Belfast to Boston featuring Henry McCullough Blues Band, which are a band called the Blue Sunset Band from Warsaw, all Polish musicians. Henry's not Polish, of course, unless you count Port Stewart being Poland. Gerry Kelly's with me. Good morning, Gerry.
Morning, Gerry.
Isn't it good to hear Henry?
I think it's fantastic to hear Henry.
Henry's in great form.
Great man. He really is the original rocker, isn't he?
Oh, none better. Nobody like him. Nobody
Bit like yourself. Did you ever play with him?
No, you mean?
Yeah.
No, no, I never did. No, I never had that privilege.
Your
to be
paths
honest
never
with you.
crossed, did they?
No, we did. Actually, I did play with him one time. We were up in his house one time doing a wee thing, and I did play bass with him. Just a wee thing we did in his house one time, but he was quite surprised at my lack of knowledge. Gerry, you'll be here next Monday.
I'll be you from next Monday, yes.
2 weeks.
For a fortnight, I'm sitting on that seat across there.
That's
have
great.
to say, looking forward to it. Did a week for you last year. I don't get holidays, as you appreciate.
I don't.
You got off last year again. I'm getting off sometime this year, but for the next fortnight, yes, I'm sitting in. And then Mr. Coyle is taking over the second fortnight that you're away.
Fortunately.
Have you a whole month's holiday?
No, it's not a holiday, of
Oh, it's
course.
not a holiday.
No.
No, sorry.
People think I'm going off to lie on some kind of foreign beach, but there'll be none of that. As you know, I do a lot of charity work. And a lot of work for Jesus. And see, this part of this...
I think you told me this last year as well. Do you know that?
No, people don't realise, the goodness that is within me. You know, you've seen the goodness.
I've seen
within
parts
me.
of it. Yes, it tends to show itself every now and then. Yeah.
You know the respect with which I'm held in this programme. Let me just read out a couple of complimentary texts.
Okay.
Gerry, good luck with the plastic surgery that you're going to have whilst you're away. And if you're in America, ask the Apache who scalped you to give his hairpiece back. You see, this is fondness, I went to see Inception. Did you see Inception?
No, haven't seen it.
No idea what it's about.
No, well, do you know something? I'm a bit like you. I have no idea. But everybody says it's great.
I thought somebody would tell me. But I was sitting there, I was at it a week or so ago, or whatever it was, and everybody was sitting there kind of looking at it like this, and I felt like saying, the person beside me, do you know what this is about? I have no idea. I went to see Inception this week in the cinema, and the power went out. My wife and I hadn't a clue what the film was about, so we got our money back. Weren't we lucky? So they were lucky the thing broke down. It's raining here and I'm feeling down, so please... See, I thought that was an insult, sorry. I read out complimentary things by mistake. So are you going to have guests? I don't have
Yes,
any.
I'm going to have guests. No,
That's
we're going to do
good.
it. We're going to
That's
do it
good.
differently than you do.
Absolutely.
Of course. No one can emulate the great Gerry Anderson. We're going to have to do something different.
Wise up.
Well, it's true. It's very true.
So no one can emulate the great Gerry Kelly, for God's sake.
No,
you and I are
no.
two completely different people.
That's much. Do you think so?
You're taller, better looking, and richer.
And got a bit more
Hair?
hair.
I was just looking at you today. You're getting a bit baldy.
You can't see the top of my
No,
head.
but
You
you're
don't know
too
whether
high.
I'm getting baldy or not up there.
You're too high. You see, I'm kind of short, and they see me quicker than they see you.
I've Paddy Keelty on Monday.
Yes, indeed.
Paddy's coming on, yeah.
Tell him I said hello.
I will, certainly. I'll ask him what he thinks of you.
Yes, and ask Jimmy Nesbitt as well.
I will ask Jim. I haven't got Jimmy on, though, but I know what you're getting at. Anyway,
So Paddy's on Monday, is
Paddy's on because Paddy's a stand-in too. I'm your stand-in, and Paddy's standing in for Jonathan Ross. Mm-hmm. He's doing that. Well, not standing in, but now that Ross is gone, he's standing in until Graham Norton takes over
That's right.
in October on Radio 2. And he's doing the Channel 4 stand-up as well. But we're going to have guests each day and a lot of good music as well. Mm-hmm. We're going to continue in the way that you have shown us, Gerry.
But see, one of the reasons I don't have any guests is because I don't like them.
Well, true. That
But
is
you
true.
like guests.
I love guests.
That's because you're a human being who gets on with other human beings. You say, people, I don't
Yes,
like
but you
people.
don't like me doing that.
No.
You see, you think I fawn to the guest.
No, I
I've heard-
don't. I may have said that.
on numerous occasions that I fawn to, but everything's all show busy with me, isn't it? Isn't
But
that what
you have
said?
a particular face. You have an expression when you're talking to people.
What kind of face? What do you mean an expression?
You have a face. It's a face. It's a kind of a face. It's not the face you have now, but you don't probably realise. No, this is not an insult. This is
Right.
not an insult. I'm just saying, you don't realise this. You have a face when you're talking to people. It's a face that they look at you and they say, "I like him." It's a likable face. See, I don't have one.
Well,
You
yeah.
have a likable expression. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's deliberate or forced or false, but you've got, when you look at you on television, people look at you and they say, "I like him. He's got a nice face." When they look at me, they say, "He's shite there." No, they do. They say, "He's shite there." That's what it is.
You're not allowed to say that.
Sorry, I didn't realise that.
Therein
Sorry.
lies a problem. So you're not allowed to say that. So I have an interesting face for the radio. Is what you're actually saying.
No. On television, people look at you, and that's why one of the reasons why you've had your great success. And Eamon Holmes is the same. Do you know Eamon Holmes now? Eamon's different. I saw him one time. Do you remember the thing that UTV used to be called All Mixed Up?
Yes.
Remember the quiz show?
The quiz show.
And Eamon did that. Sorry, I seem to be doing a lot of talking here.
Go ahead.
And Eamon was doing that, and like Eamon used to wheel in people like me and Mick Fettridge for an episode to be a contestant. But I was standing there, you see, and we'd done all the stuff, and it was ready. They said, you stand there, look, and Eamon will come over and you go on there. And I'm standing, we place you stand beside the TV. And Eamon came up, and I looked at him, and he looked as if he'd just fallen out of bed. You know, he hadn't shaved, and his hair looked terrible, and I felt like saying, you can all like that. You can all like that. You know, but I didn't say anything. And then he marched on, and then I looked in the monitor. He looked great.
$100.
And he looked like a tramp. Well, when he was standing beside me, and I looked at the monitor, and I said, that's why he's on TV. Because the camera loves him. The camera hates me.
Well, I'm not. You see, the camera.
The camera likes you.
I said to Fullerton once, somebody said to me, you look fatter, and, you know, I look slimmer in real life. And I said to them, well, the camera puts about 10 pounds of weight on you.
No.
And the guy says, how many cameras were on you, John?
You must have been surrounded by them. So you're doing 2 weeks?
I'm doing 2 weeks.
Try and do 4, will you?
No, Mr. Coyle, no.
No.
Mr. Coyle can't wait to do it.
No, because whenever he's on, I come back, there's nobody left. No, really. He chases them all away with Roy Orbison and Dave D. Dozy Beaky McIntitch and talking to owl boys about what it used to be like in 1950. He can't speak to anyone who's under 70. He regards them as rapscallions and ne'er-do-wells.
We're going for a new audience, obviously.
All right, then.
All right.
So we're looking forward to that.
I'm really looking forward to it. You have a ball wherever you're going to work, and good luck to all the people that come in contact with you.
And remember the nature of this programme, you don't have to do much research, and you can lie on to 10. All right, Gerry. Monday morning, 10:30, the Gerry Kelly Show. Don't be calling us that, because they may keep it like that.
No, it'll always be Anderson.
All right, Gerry, thank you. See you later.
See you, Gerry.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. I'm Anne-Marie Foster. The Deputy First Minister, Martin McGuinness, has rejected any suggestion that a peace and conflict resolution centre at the Maze prison site will be a shrine to terrorism. Sinn Féin and the DUP have reached agreement on the development of the Maze, which could include a move by the Royal Ulster Agricultural Society from the King's Hall. The Deputy First Minister says the development could bring huge benefits.
The only shrine that I want to see on this world-class facility will be a shrine to peace and to the future. That's what this is about. This is about ensuring that the approach to the construction of this facility will be a very inclusive approach.
DUP MP Geoffrey Donaldson agrees.
Far from glorifying terrorism, it will actually be about recognising that terrorism, violence and conflict doesn't work. It achieves nothing. The centre will be housed in a new building, and the real headline out of all of this should be the fact that there is the potential to create up to 6,000 new jobs on this site. Now, in the middle of a recession, with the construction industry on its knees, I would have thought that's where we want to focus on today.
More searches for bodies of the disappeared are being carried out in 3 counties in the Republic. The news emerged after it was announced that the Commission for the Location of Victims' Remains believe they found the body of South Armagh man Charlie Armstrong, who disappeared in 1981. The Commission says searches are going on in Monaghan, Meath and Louth for the bodies of 10 people they've yet to find. The police have released photographs of people they're seeking in connection with rioting in Belfast over the 12th of July. A team of 20 officers is dedicated to the investigation, and now the public are being asked to help identify 14 people whose images were captured by CCTV and other media coverage. So far, 42 people have been arrested in connection with the violence. Now, Stav Dines has the weather forecast.
Hello there. We'll continue to see outbreaks of rain through the course of this morning. Some of the rain will be heavy at times, but the rain will clear away eastwards and it leaves a much better afternoon, drier and brighter. Some good spells of sunshine developing, and it'll feel quite warm as well with highs of 19 Celsius. It'll feel pretty humid with that, so feeling even warmer than 19 Celsius. That's your forecast.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel News. There's been an accident on the Cordellands Road in Dundrod. It's closed at the junction with Sycamore Road and Jordan's Cross. Drivers are also advised to approach that area with extreme caution because of an oil spill. Meanwhile, heavy rain is causing lots of spray on the roads, particularly on the M1 between Moira and Belfast, so remember to switch on dipped headlights. Then tonight sees the opening night of the West Belfast Festival. It'll run until next Sunday the 8th, with lots of concerts and street theatre throughout the west of the city. And finally, at the George Best Belfast City Airport, this morning's Flybe flight from Leeds Bradford has been delayed to 2 o'clock, while the flight from Cork is now due at 11:30. Anne Jordan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, 350 acres of prime land. What would you do with it? The Maze site. Politicians can agree on a shrine. How come not on a stadium? It's Gay Pride this weekend in Belfast. Where's the controversy? And the hurricane and the whirlwind.
A long red and to the right-hand top corner, a death or glory shot of unimaginable daring.
Eamon McCann recalls that iconic match between Higgins and White. Join me and join the debate on Talkback at 12.
Thanks, Wendy. That's Talkback at 12 o'clock. I was talking to Henry McCullough there about a track called Belfast to Boston. It's a long track, about 7.5 minutes. I'm going to play that in a minute. I'm going to warn you. But anyway, I was talking about he's taking part on the 2nd of August in the Fabrica Festival, which is a festival put on by the Polish Association in association with the Czech and Slovak Association. So all you Poles and Czechs and Slovaks out there, that's between the 1st and the 8th of August. And there's a website, www.fabricafestival, FABRAKAFESTIVAL, of course, .com. And still stuff floods in here. Bobby Foster writes to me and he said there's been a breakthrough in scientists at Belfast Metropolitan College have discovered a brand new element. The new element is called strontium. The chemical symbol is SM. Strontium has 2 neutrons, 10 assistant neutrons, and 96 deputy neutrons, making it an atomic mass of 108. And apparently these 108 particles are held together by forces called morons, which are surrounded by vast quantities of lepton-like particles called pillox. Since strontium has no electrons, it is inert. However, it can be detected because it impedes every reaction with which it comes into contact. A tiny amount of strontium can cause a reaction that would normally take less than a second to take from 4 days to 4 years to complete. Strontium has a normal half-life of 2 to 5 years. It does not decay, but instead undergoes a reorganization in which a portion of the assistant neutrons and deputy neutrons exchange places. In fact, it has been found that strontium's mass will actually increase over time, since each reorganization will cause more morons to become neutrons, forming isotopes. This characteristic of moron promotion leads some scientists to believe that strontium is formed whenever morons reach a critical concentration. This hypothetical quantity is referred to as a critical morass. When catalyzed with money, strontium bonds with administratium, symbol AD, an element that radiates just as much energy as strontium since it has 20 times the number of pillox, but only half as many morons. Administrative pillox are characterized by an aversion to using up energy. In fact, the more pillox there are in administratium, the less energy they use. Scientists have concluded that in its present form, there were very few practical uses for strontium. It's a little science. Things you should know in the world of academia. Strontium, moron and pillox.
Bought a ticket to Boston. Didn't think it was too far away. Never had me nowhere to stay. And I spent my first night rough in Boston. The next day I thought if I might hang around, I might meet somebody from Belfast town. And I hung around corners, stood on the line. and I couldn't get work here in Boston. So I took to the drink and I was sick as a dog, spewing up pretzels and sucking hot dogs. When I bumped into walls, I fell to the ground, and I ended up kissing the prison guard. And my last dollar spent on a sweet telegram, just to let you know how I am. Uncle Sam's the man they say, so I'm off to discover America. And I tried and I got me a job at the sink, washing dishes and not too much rent. And there I was, half dead on my feet, not a sight of a woman to warm me. I tried and you know what it's like, saved a few dollars from working at night, bought a ticket out west I'm bound, off to discover America. Passing through Oklahoma one day, and I fell in love with an Indian girl. The Cherokee was the tribe she was from, and we took some peyote, but it was for fun. And I thought I was sent for and long at last, colors and devils and more guts than one. And I never thought that I'd ever come down, and the back of my neck is still tingling. The things that I saw, sure you wouldn't believe. Flowers that would dance with the grass and the trees, would talk to the sky, lay down with the wind. And I got my mind blowing in Tulsa town. And there's not a state that I haven't been, all the way around and then back again. So sick of this out traveling, and I got to get out of the state that I'm in. And now that I'm older, wiser than none, I'm going back to where I belong. Boston to Belfast City, I'm bound to plant my feet firmly on holy ground. I'm gonna wrap you up and put you in my pocket. Wrap you up and put you in my pocket. Wrap you up, put you in my pocket, and put you in my pocket.
Isn't that great? That's a tour de force from, that's the only way to describe that, from Henry McCullough. Gerry Queen is with me. Did you hear that?
Yeah, so Henry. Yes.
Isn't it good?
Isn't he something else? I played a gig with him there not too long ago in the Black Box, A Night for Gaza, and himself and Bob Kennedy and lots of other really great people were involved in that.
I know.
So that was.
It's not fair to play that and then ask another man to play the guitar.
No, that's true. That's true.
Gerry, tell me a wee bit about yourself. What have you been up to these days?
Well, I'm Belfast born and bred, as you probably know, Gerry. In fact, where you were yesterday down in Cathedral Quarter is about a quarter of a mile from where I was born.
Is that a fact?
You were down in the John Hewitt, the great bar down there with Gerry White and staff.
Yeah.
And it's great to see the resurgence that there is in that part of the world.
That place is buzzing, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And as I say, I was born about a quarter of a mile from there, and I've lived in the North Belfast area all my life, you know. So
it's lovely. Do you know something? I'm afraid to go there at night. Do you know why? Because I never get home.
It's wonderful, isn't it? All
it's
the
great.
Cafes, restaurants, bars, the whole thing.
You can't go down there and just have a pint.
No,
I go down there and I come home at 3 a.m.
That's
I can't
right.
go down
Yes,
there. Like.
Yes.
I go down on a Friday or a Saturday, but I couldn't go down on a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Oh, it's a great buzz, you know.
It's fantastic.
When you walk through that commercial court, you're transported back centuries almost, you know. It's wonderful place.
Yes, we're talking about how good Henry is. You're not too bad yourself, Gerry. Will you do a wee song for us?
Well, I will. Okay, I'll start with a song that I wrote in 1977, Gerry. It's a song that won the Bass Ireland Song Competition in 1979, and it's a song that was initially written about the situation here. It was written during sort of dark times for this part of the world.
Yeah.
And it's had a resurgence recently because of the peace process, etc. And I've been invited to sing it at on a number of occasions recently. It's a song called "A Rose by Any Other Name."
We've had requests for this, by the way.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's smashing. So I'll go with that then, if that's okay.
Oh, please do. "A Rose by Any Other Name," Gerry Crane.
Take a seed and plant it in the ground. Watch and tend it carefully as the years go rolling round. And from this seed may grow a flower or two. And if it's to bloom again next spring, well, that's up to me and you. And a rose by any other name is still a rose, it's still a rose. Take a child who's in the prime of life, in his golden age of innocence. Is he born of love or strife? He may be a leader in a year or two, and if he's to know what's right from wrong, well, that's up to me and you. Let's hope he'll never choose what's wrong for the sake of love, or his love for the sake of gain. 'Cause either way he's bound to lose, and the love he finds, it can only lead to pain if he don't remember that a rose by any other name is still a rose, it's still a rose. And a child who's taught to hate and maim, he's just a child, he's not to blame. Take a land, the finest ever seen. Its hills and lakes and valleys, all draped in emerald green. Oh, take this land,
as lovely as can be. Oh, can this be a land of love? Well, that's up to you and me. Let's hope we'll never choose between our children and the land we love so well. 'Cause either way we're bound to lose, and the land we know as heaven can soon turn into hell if we don't remember that a rose by any other name is still a rose, it's still a rose, and a child who's taught to hate and maim, he's just a child, he's not to blame. Yes, a rose by any other name is still a rose, it's just the same. And a land by any other name is still the land from where we came.
That's an important song, that. That's an important song.
Yes, it is. For me too. It's very important, yes.
Oh, that's
Thank
great.
you. Yeah.
Gerry Crane. And you've got an album by that name.
Yes.
A Rose by Any Other Name is the name of this album. Is it still available, yeah?
It is. It's just gone into HMV, Gerry, and it's available on iTunes, Amazon, and the music's all out there now. So that and my new album, Hindsight, which is just from last year.
Hindsight, yeah. This is
Hindsight,
good. I played this before. It's really good.
Yes, thank you, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good, excellent. And you're doing some gigs coming up next week in particular. You're doing Fila and Fobo on the 3rd of August. Is that Monday or Tuesday?
That's Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday. And what is Peace Line and Lyrics? What's that?
It's a daytime gig, and it's an opportunity for people from all sides to come together. It's a gig which will be chaired by Barney Rowan, who's one of your ex-colleagues, and he will be unveiling part of his archive that he has built up over the last so many years, all around the troubles and the situation.
Yeah.
And there will be Martin McGuinness will be there, and Barney will be in discussion with Martin McGuinness and William Plum Smith from the loyalist side of the fence, and those occasions are absolutely magnificent. You know, we've done a number of those now.
Do the sparks fly?
Occasionally the sparks fly, you know, but it's wonderful to see, you know, people like that who, you know, a few years back would have been try to avoid being on the same planet as each other, let alone being in the same room, sitting beside each other, discussing all of the major.
Isn't it good to get it out, like, to each other?
Absolutely, and for the public to see that, and to be there, to be part of it, to ask questions, and to be part of all of that, and that's so important now.
So where's that? That's Thursday. Monday, the 3rd of August. Where is
that's
where
in
is
Falls
that?
Library.
The Falls Library.
And there'll be a big contingent of people from all over the city will be converging on that part then. Yeah.
And also on Wednesday you're in the Kelly Cellars.
Yes.
Songs of the Filia.
Yeah, that's again with a number of other. As part of Fila and Fobo, and it will be with other singer-songwriters like Ben Reel and Kate O'Callaghan.
Oh,
and,
fantastic!
Stephen Hanley, people like that. So we'll have a whirl round there and sing a few songs down there. That should be great.
We were down yesterday, as we mentioned, launching the Open House Festival. You're appearing in that as well on the 12th of September in the No Alibis tent. That's a great we've seen that.
Isn't it, down there?
It's
with
fantastic.
David's, and David's No Alibis bookshop on Botanic Avenue, and that's a great shop. And he has his usual his tent down there at Open House Festival with book launches and people reading and music, of course. Yeah.
I was down reading there last year, a few bits and pieces.
That's right. I saw you down there.
I felt terrible, because Paul Charles was down there, and I was talking to him earlier on. He must think I'm a wee. I was talking to Gerry. Must think I'm a wee shite because I was talking. And I said, Paul, I haven't read any of your books. He said, well, I'm doing a bit of a reading. I said, what time are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
He said, 3:00. I said, that's great because I'm on at 4.
Yeah.
I said, I'll come down. I'd love to come down. He said, I'll see you down there. I came at 2 minutes to 4, and I could see him looking at me saying, yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, that's just typical of you, Gerry.
And also something else we talked about yesterday, the Belfast City Night of Culture.
Yes.
You're appearing in that as well on the 25th of September. 25th
Yes.
September in the Central Library.
That's going to be in the Central Library. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. The Belfast Night of Culture. I don't know whether you've been involved in that before. Well, you need to come down, Gerry, and have a really good look.
See how it's done.
To see how it's done. So whenever you have your wonderful occasion in a couple of years' time, you will learn lots from that. It's a wonder.
I think Derry's getting involved in this.
Oh yes,
of course.
Yes, they will, and I would say there'll be lots of people from down here going up there, and we have all the Super Dairy people coming down here.
It's for everybody.
It is
for everybody.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be at all surprised if some of some of the gigs that are supposed to happen in Derry-Stoke London, I wouldn't be surprised if they were happening down here.
No,
because we what we don't have are large venues. And
yeah.
you can't.
You
I don't know what to do.
Some of our gorgeous large venues down here.
We don't have an O2
and our Ulster Ball and waterfront.
Anyway, shut up. God, sing something.
Sing something. Okay. Right. Just to change the atmosphere a bit. I know you're a big Randy Newman fan because you were listening to the show, a regular listener, and I was listening there a couple of months ago, and you were saying about being at Randy's gig, which I was at the same gig in Vicar Street. You were at the Vicar Street
Yes,
gig?
I was.
Yeah, and isn't he just magnificent?
Just himself and the piano.
Yeah, himself and the big grand piano, and what a songwriter.
I know.
A great satirical songwriter, and gets his message across in quirky ways. And for years I've been singing this song, Short People. Because as you know, and Randy Newman's about 6'13", and I'm kind of not, and he's a big guy.
You're bijou.
I am. So no, I've been singing the song for a while, and at different occasions, and somebody challenged me recently to write a sequel to it. So I've done that, Gerry. So
work away.
I'll sing a little bit of Short People just to remind people how it goes, and then I'll sing my version, which is Tall People. Okay, so this is Short People. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason to live. They got little hands and little eyes, and they walk around telling great big lies. They got little noses and tiny little teeth. They wear platform shoes on their nasty little feet. And I don't want no tall, short people. Don't want no short people. Don't want no short people around here. Do 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 do. Short people are just the same as you and I. A fool such as I, all men are brothers until the day they die. And it's a wonderful world. Now that's Randy Newman's version, this is mine. Tall people got no reason. Tall people got no reason. Tall people got no reason at all. They're just tall with their XL shirts, their XL shoes. They're giving me the XL blues. They eat all the food, they drink all the booze. There's nothing left for me and you. See how I got that one in, Gerry, from Belfast? And I don't want no tall people. Don't want no tall people. Don't want no tall people around here. Do 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 do. Tall people got no call of being so tall, but the taller they are,
the further they fall. With their massive egos that know no limit, they open their mouths and put their big feet in it. They come late to the gig, sit right in front of you. It only takes one to spoil everybody's view. And I don't want no tall people, don't want no tall people, don't want no tall people around here. Do 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 do. Everybody at Radio Line. Do 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 do.
Let me just remind you that your album, A Rose Be Any Other Name, is available. Also, your newest album, which is called Hindsight, is also available. And gigs again, Monday, Feeling and Football, Peace Lines and Lyrics. Wednesday, Songs of the Feeling, Kelly Sellers.
Tuesday and Thursday, actually, Gerry. Sorry to cut across you. Tuesday, no problem. Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday, it's the 3rd and 5th of the month. Yeah.
Tuesday is the 3rd.
Yeah.
Tuesday's the Feeling and Football.
Yeah.
Thursday is Songs of the Feeling.
That's it.
Culture. 3rd of September, we forgot to mention this, 3rd of September, gig on the band in Port Glenone.
Fantastic. Up in Port Glenone, a gig in the band, yes. I'm looking forward to that.
12th of September, Open House Festival, No Alibis 10. 25th of September, Belfast City Night of Culture. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Gerry, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having
You're
me
a
in,
gentleman.
Gerry.
I enjoyed that tremendously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
In the church where a wedding has been, lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do all belong? Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near, look at him working, darning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All the lonely people, where do they all come? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people.
That's Beetlegrass, of course. That's a song called Beatles song. You'll know that. That's called Eleanor Rigby. And Gerry Crean's gone. Say hello to Gerry Crean for me. Too late. Sorry, Jim Kern, Portstewart. He's probably out there. Maybe he's still listening. I haven't seen him since St Mary's Grammar when he had a great head of dark hair. I'm sure he'll appreciate you pointing that out because he's now decided to be baldy. But another man has jumped in and taken his place. J.J. Gilmore. Good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
What a show. This has turned out to be George's best, Dancing Shoes. It's the talk of the town.
Seems to be, yeah. We're absolutely delighted with it. The last 2 nights have been incredible, standing ovations, and yeah, we're really humbled. Yeah, it's fantastic, just...
I mean, people are talking about nothing else. What was it like the first night?
We were really nervous. I mean, I embarked on 3 large glasses of red wine just so that I could sit through it, and I sat with Peter Sheridan, the director, right in front of me. And I just kept tapping him on the shoulder and saying, "Oh my God, this is great, Peter. They're really getting it. They're really getting it. It's fantastic, Gerry."
And you've all the reason to be nervous because it was your baby. It was your baby. You were the first man to write the songs, to write the first songs. And tell me how that happened. I know there's a very good documentary series on UTV. It's very good programmes, those, I have to say.
I must say, it was Liam Cray's idea, who's Pat Gribben's neighbour, to do that from Red Box.
Very good.
He's done an amazing job on it. Yeah, fantastic.
I think they're great. Best thing I've seen on UTV for a very long time. So you wrote a couple of... Did you say to yourself at one stage, right, I'm going to write a musical about George Best?
I probably got to about the 3rd or 4th song, and then I thought, my God, I called my neighbour and tip manager. I live in Jersey in the Channel Islands, and I said, "Do you know, Mark, I think I'm writing a musical about George Best." It's really bizarre, and I don't know.
I get up in the morning and find myself writing this musical about George Best.
It's really strange, and I still maintain, I still don't know why or how I came across that. It's great. I sound as if I'm in a corridor. It's brilliant. But it's brilliant. I'm absolutely delighted. And then obviously met up with Pat, and Pat and I teamed up, to write the music for it. And
Pat Gribben, yes.
Fantastic, yeah, fantastic. Pat's an amazing musician and just great band, The Adventures.
So it became a collaboration after a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wrote the first 3.
I probably wrote about half a dozen tunes initially. I'd written songs like about George's teacher at Lisvanna High, the headmaster, and then I wrote a song called The 13th Chapter, and a few of the songs sort of made it in and out, and some didn't. But then Pat and I got together, and just banged our heads together, and I think we've come up with something nice. And I mean, it's very difficult to be boastful about your own work, but
I'll just tell the truth.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it.
No. But one of the things I noticed about this, when I got the first initial copy of some of the songs, CD for publicity purposes, people were bringing up right away. What is this, and where do you get this? That doesn't happen. There's something about the songs that they're popular.
Yeah, I mean,
potentially popular.
I mean, that's what certainly Pat and I are. We're pop writers, initially. Pat with his band, me with my band, and
yeah, you were in a band called. You've been round the hedges. you were a band called the Silencers, and they were a very popular band in Scotland and elsewhere actually. Yeah. And you ended up in France and so. Here, listen. Let's talk about that later. Let's do a song first,
okay?
Because we could sit here and muso talk. Then people want to hear the songs, and tell me what you're going to do, and tell me about it.
This is a song called "We'll Remember You This Way," and this is the last song in the musical, and I won't say anything about the script. I don't want to give it away to anyone, but
sure.
It's obviously an emotional part of the musical, so I thought I would sing the last song first, if that's all right.
All right.
So long, Geordie, we'll remember you in a world of darkness and a sadness. You came shining through. Goodbye, my boy, though it's time to part, though we're gonna miss you, we got memories in our hearts to say. How many chances fell at your feet when the road you walked became a dead-end street? You gave us heaven when we saw you play. We remember you this way. Hey, all together in the pouring rain, to the sound of laughter and a crying, you've come home again. Thank you, Geordie, for the joy you gave. Though we're gonna miss you, we got memories in our hearts to say. When those defenses fell at your feet, in the theater of your dreams when everything was sweet, you gave us heaven when we saw you play. We remember you this way. Hey, we remember you this way. We remember you this way. We remember you this way. We remember you this way.
Yeah, excellent. One of the things I noticed that series of documentaries, were there 4 of them? 4 programs?
There are, yeah.
Four. Have they all been out?
No, there's only 2 been out, Gerry.
Oh, sorry. Well, I've seen the 2 of them then.
Yeah.
I thought I'd missed a couple of them. But one of the things I noticed about the first one in particular, even though I'd heard you singing, but when you were kind of messing about, I remember noticing that I thought you had a very peculiar, nice, a quality voice. And I look at these notes here, and it says here that you could once have had a career as in classical music as a tenor.
Yeah, I had an old singing teacher in Glasgow, a guy called Gino Marchetti.
Yeah.
Who there's a big confectionery company in Scotland called Lee's Confectionery. They make macaroon bars and they're very successful. And he spotted me singing as a kid, and he offered my parents to send me to this singing teacher called Gino Marchetti. And long story short, he said, I think your kid's a great singer and I'd love to take him to Italy. And it kind of, the only thing that I think that even resonates similar to that is the whole John McCormick thing, where he went to Italy.
That's right.
No sort of English speaking person had ever gone to Italy in front of an audience, and I was only 14 at the time, and I was too scared, and I decided not to do it, But what an opportunity, I mean, I was going to have to go to Italy, learn Italian, and be an Italian boy. Ironically, my brother's 2 kids from Derry now live in Italy.
Your brother live in Derry?
He lived in Derry, married to a Derry girl originally, and he his 2 kids are out there in Florence. One of them's just come back actually, so maybe it was their turn to go to Italy, not mine.
Well, as you mature, do you ever reflect and say, I wonder what that would have been like?
It must have, I suppose as a wee boy, Gino Marchetti was a big name in the music industry in Scotland, and lived in these palatial surroundings in a place called Bearsden in Glasgow. And he was just I think as a wee boy, I suppose that's the thing that's gone through my whole life. I always kind of knew. I had my first TV performance when I was 6 on Junior Showtime. Remember that show, Bobby Bennett?
No.
It was a big ITV show. It was for kids. It was horrendous. So I kind of always thought, I'm going to be, I want to be a singer, and I've just tried to follow that and pursue it. And
yeah,
you know what it's like, Gerry. It's been a rocky road,
When you went out on your own after the band, you see, people go through a stage, don't they? And I don't know if you went through this or not. You're in a band and you're doing well, and then suddenly you're getting even older, it's suddenly the music's coming up, it's not what you want, and then you realize, oh God, I'm finished now. This is, and then you did you get that feeling?
I did, yeah. Funny enough, I hooked up with Miles Copeland, the famous Miles Copeland.
Did you? The Police?
He was my manager for the last 5 years.
God.
And the first thing that he said to me when I met him, of course, he had a house in St John's Wood in London. Where else would he live? And he the first thing that he said to me when I met him, and he said, I wish I'd have got you 15 years ago, you're the wrong side of 21, but I still, he says, I still think I can do something with you, so He's an absolute mogul, but you're right, you do get older, you move on, you know.
Yeah, I saw a clip of you, and actually Gerry Kelly was on this programme earlier on. I saw a clip of you and your band on the Gerry Kelly show, and your hair is a little bit snowy now.
Yes, yeah. I'm sporting a full head of grey hair, which I'm delighted with, and I avoided that for years.
Better to have hair, no matter what colour it is. It could be worse, it could be like Jerry Crean, baldy.
And he looked well with it, didn't he? It sounded as if he was about 18 when he was singing. Fantastic
no,
voice.
See, you wouldn't be a good baldy man. I'd be a bad baldy man too. We've got the wrong shape of head.
Absolutely, aye. Baldy guys are Duncan Goodhue, you know.
Do another wee song for us. JJ, what do you call yourself, JJ?
Yeah, well, you know, JJ James. I've got all different kinds of handles, you know.
What do you prefer to call Jim?
My friends
James?
in Scotland call me Jinky, but that's not really an ideal name to be called in Northern Ireland. You know?
No, we'll leave that one. Work away. What are you going to do now?
It's kind of. I think maybe do a wee bit of dancing shoes for you. You know.
Absolutely,
you
yeah,
know,
of course.
It's another kind of slow. Dancing shoes, I'm gonna wear my dancing shoes. I'm gonna dance right up next to you in my dancing shoes. Loving you, I spent a long time loving you. Been cheating and lying just to be with you in my dancing shoes. Now I'm finding out what this dancing's all about. I'll take a step if you take two. I'm stepping out in my shoes tonight. I'll be down on the floor before the night is through in my dancing shoes. There's no denying I'm a prisoner to you. You hold the crown, there's no winning with you in my dancing shoes. Holy Moses, what's going on? I'm out of time with this song. My, oh my, just let me be. Let me be. Let me be. Oh, let me be. Let me be. Let me be. When you went stepping out, how you made them scream and shout. The game was everything I knew. You left them in no doubt what this dancing's all about. Now the love is all gone, I can't seem to make it through in my dancing shoes. I made my name in my dancing shoes, and I played the game, but did I win or lose in my dancing 2, 3, 4 shoes? That's a great song. Thank
That's
you.
a great song. J.J. Gilmore. Sorry. J.J. Gilmore. J.J. Gilmore. I'm looking forward to seeing the show tomorrow night. I'm going along tomorrow night.
Brilliant. We'll have a glass of wine beforehand.
Absolutely. And after.
Absolutely.
And during. Also, the show is on until...
The 14th.
The 14th?
Of August.
That's 2 weeks. I think perhaps I can see that coming back again. I can see that.
I hope so. We had the chap from the Lowry Theatre in Manchester. Everybody's dream actually involved in it. When Pat and I and Mary and Martin first started talking about it, we thought, well, the great thing about it is hopefully after this we'll be able to go to Manchester. I think it's I've got to say, Gerry, the people that are involved in it are amazing. The cast, and I know a lot of people know the cast, and I'm just getting to know the likes of Marty Maguire and Paddy Jenkins and Kerry Quinn and wee Packy, and I'm sorry I can't mention all the cast, but the cast are absolutely breathtaking. And young Aidan O'Neill, who's playing George Best, he's fantastic wee guy, and they're dedicated professionals. And the other thing that I want to say as well, I watched it with Barbara Best the other night, Barbara McNary, George's sister, and the big thing about me was always, and I know that the other writers share this, is just that was the big thing. It was a big hurdle for me for Barbara to turn around and say, I really loved it, and that was just, that meant, people ask you what's your favourite thing about playing gigs or what's your favourite thing about the theatre, and I always say the queue for the tickets. But that was more important.
But see, Barbara's a very sensitive woman. I've talked to her once or twice. She feels a lot,
Yeah.
And for her to like that is good.
And her and Norman, we sat and watched it with them, and they were delighted about it. Barbara's husband Norman, and that to me meant more than any of the ticket sales. Honestly, it just.
Well, the indications are that it's going to travel.
Well, here's hoping. I'm optimistic and realistic, and know that it's a tough world out there. But it's just, it is. I think it is. Mary and I and Martin sat last night. Poor Pat is stuck in behind the stage playing in the band, and I can't wait till Pat doesn't want to be part of the band anymore and come outside and watch it with all us.
How come you're not part of the band?
I never wanted to be, ever. I wanted to sit down, like I said to you, and have 2 or 3 glasses of wine and sit and watch it every night. And I wish Pat was sitting next to me, because it really is something that's unfolded from.
Well, he might be getting more money because he's playing in the band. You never thought of that?
I hope he is.
JJ, thank you so much for coming in. And
Thanks a lot.
George Best Music, of course, on now at the moment for the next 2 weeks, and I can't wait to see it. And it's a pity I won't be here in Monday to tell the people what it was like, but thank you so much for coming in.
The CDs are available at martinlynch.com.
Go ahead.
The album. The album's
That's right.
The album's now out. We've recorded the album with all these songs, and they're now available from www.martinlynch.com.
Martin says he's quite embarrassed by having his name on it because it sounds as like all the money's going to him.
Yeah.
But he said it was just a convenient thing to do.
I'll make sure it isn't going.
www.martinlynch.com if you want an album of the soundtrack of the show. J.J. Gilmore, thank you so much.
Gerry, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please avoid the black box delivered to your door. We are not sure what it is for. Packaged up in red tape, fragile labels galore. You should ignore. You should ignore. Through the thinning ozone, has it fallen from the sky? And we still ask why, and we still ask why. With incriminating evidence washed up on your shore, and you still want more, want more. We go around and around, we go around and around. What goes around and around will come around. Go around and around, we go around and around. What goes around and around will come around. Should you decide to open the black box at this time, you may not like what you will find. Cause it may contain a conscience that needs a change of mind. You should decline. You should decline. Like a present to Pandora, it will come as no surprise if the litany of disaster unfolds before your eyes. And the black book of destructions that you will find inside leaves you no place to hide, no place to hide. We go round and around, we go round and around, what goes around and around.
That's Gerry Crean, of course. That's from his new album, which is called Hindsight. That's a song called The Black Box. And also J.J. Gilmore, he's got an album out which is called The Boy Who Didn't Fall. And that's on www.jjgilmore.com if you're interested in that. It's also the original version of Dancing Shoes is on that. And a couple of other things to mention before I go. There is an international junior billiards event today on in Bangor in the reading rooms. A lot of people say that people don't pay enough attention to billiards. And after all, Mr. Higgins was a billiard player of note. So an international junior billiards event today in Bangor in the reading rooms. It starts at 4:30. Another message here. Gentlemen, hold on, I just get this here. I'm not quite sure. It concerns something that happened yesterday during the course of the live broadcast. Sean Coyle gave a tip for a horse. And a gentleman writes to me and says, I have just switched on to the programme. If you do not know already, tell Sean Coyle that his horse, Lord's Bridge, runs again today at Bangor, the last race. The jockey fell off it yesterday. It's a skimpy price though, 6-4, but maybe with a bit of luck, the jockey will stay on this time. As you probably already know, because Gerry Kelly was on the programme, Gerry Kelly will be here on Monday for 2 weeks. I will not be here for a couple of weeks. And then I will not be here for 2 weeks after that. Unfortunately, Sean Coyle will be here because we couldn't get anybody else. So for the next 2 weeks, Gerry Kelly. For the next 2 weeks after that, Sean Coyle. And I'll be back, I think it's the 30th of August, 4 weeks' time. And I'm off doing Jesus' work, so, you know, be content that somebody's doing it. So I'll be back in a month's time. So until then, enjoy yourselves. And be honest, if I can be honest, I'll miss you. Goodbye.
And to be honest, Gerry, we'll miss you too. Have a good holiday. It's 12 o'clock. This is Talk Back with Wendy Austin.